Well, we go from that to the slap from last year, the drama of the Academy Awards. The drama not limited to just the movies, though. For more than 90 years, there have been all sorts of behind-the-scenes intrigue, some of it playing out on the stage, some of it involving behind-the-scene rivalries. Michael Schulman is the author of the New York Times bestseller, Her Again, Becoming Meryl Streep. He's a staff writer at The New Yorker, and his latest is called Oscar Wars, A History of Hollywood, Gold, Sweat, and Tears. Michael, thanks so much for joining us. So are we talking about rivalries that are between the stars, the competition that goes on between the studios? What are you talking about generally when you're talking about the wars?
Well, some of the chapters in my book deal with actual conflicts between movies or movie stars who are in competition together. But a lot of the times the conflicts are underneath the surface of the horse race, whether it's sort of the labor battles of the 1930s or the Hollywood blacklist of the 50s. And I find that the Oscars are sometimes a really good prism for cultural conflicts that are running underneath popular culture, even going up to the era of Oscars So White a couple of years ago, which really tapped into a larger conversation that wasn't about particular movies or movie stars. It was about, race and equity and representation.
So in the acceptance speeches, we always hear the actors going, "Oh, and I just want to acknowledge my competitors. Everybody did such a great job." Are they just all full of it when they're saying that? And they hate each other and have been campaigning? I know campaigns go on during this, for the award show leading up to this coming Sunday.
I mean, generally, people don't hate each other with the kind of fervor that you see in, political life and political campaigns. But there have been some Oscar races throughout history that have been really ugly. For instance, the Best Picture race in 1999 between Saving Private Ryan and Shakespeare in Love has gone down as the ugliest Best Picture fight in history, in large part because of someone named Harvey Weinstein, who was producer of Shakespeare in Love and left no stone unturned in his very ruthless, aggressive campaign for that movie. And when it actually won Best Picture, the people from Saving Private Ryan were absolutely aghast.
Wow. Is there a war between, box office blockbusters and more artistic films when it comes to the awards? And then what about going to the movies and staying home and watching them on? Is that going to be part of this now?
Yeah, that tension between spectacle and sort of smaller art movies, that's been a part of the Academy since the very beginning of the awards. In the first year of the awards in 1929, there were actually two top prizes. One for outstanding production, which went to a big World War I war movie called Wings, and then a different prize for Best Unique and Artistic Picture, which went to a small psychodrama called Sunrise. Huh. And I think that the Academy has always kind of pulled between those two things. Do you award bigness and spectacle and production value, or a sort of smaller, quieter movie? I think you see that in the nominees this year, which include Avatar and, Top Gun, Maverick on one side, and then, Tar and Triangle of Sadness and Women Talking on the other side.
Yeah, and the movie that's probably going to win everything this year, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I guess there was some drama that went on with the movie Midnight Cowboy. Can you talk about that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so I love Midnight Cowboy. And that was a fascinating period in Hollywood because this was the late 60s. In 1969, the Best Picture winner was Oliver, which was the first and only Best Picture winner to be rated G. By the next year, 1970, the Best Picture winner was Midnight Cowboy, the only Best Picture winner to be rated X. So that's an incredible transformation. And I wanted to really look deep at sort of what that year in Hollywood was like and that transition. It was the rise of the counterculture, the rise of the hippies and the baby boom generation who had much different tastes in movies and even morality than their parents' generation did.
So do you think we're going to see anything at all like we saw last year with the slap? Will there be any moments of spontaneity really in this year's Oscars?
I mean, the Oscars always has room for spontaneity because, it's very formal and planned and ritualistic. And yet there's always surprise because people don't know who's going to win until it happens. So there's always this room for raw emotion. and unpredictability. However, there are certain things that have happened in Oscar history that just are on this other echelon of wild and crazy, whether it's the streaker in 1974 up to the envelope mix-up in 2017, and certainly Slap. I was up in the balcony last year and saw it with my own eyes and heard Will Smith screaming from down below. And I mean, I just couldn't believe what was happening.
Unreal.
Yeah, I think all of our jaws dropped. When there was a fairly boring show until that happened. You can read more in the book. It's called Oscar Wars: A History of Hollywood in Gold, Sweat, and Tears. And you can find Michael at his website and also on Twitter up on your screen. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. Happy
Thanks,
Oscar
Michael.
Sunday.
Thank you.